Welcome back, tribe. Got another one here where women think the grass is greener on the other side and will give us some incredible performative tears of their situation that they self-inflicted.
I'm getting a divorce.
Shocker. Why?
I have tried to change so many things about my life.
What?
Golly, it's been...
What? This a talker.
I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Main character.
What the hell? I don't know even what to classify. Is this narcissism? Is this just stupidity? Is this low IQ? What is this? You turn on the camera and have nothing to say, and you continue to film yourself, and you're making a highlight reel of you just filming yourself, saying stupid shit you got from Instagram and TikTok. Main character energy. Sis, look at you. You're not even one of the background fillers walking down the street in a scene of a movie. You're invisible. What are you talking about? Bro, the amount of delusion. And I guarantee you something, her social media consumption had something to do with the reason why she felt compelled to divorce her husband. And now she's sitting here making silent TikTok, staring into her camera and uttering main character energy. Are you ill mentally? Do you need help? What the fuck?
For context, she said that she filed because her husband cheated. I strongly believe that she is not being truthful with the real reason she filed for divorce, and I will show you why. She mentioned in several clips that she filed the next day after finding out that her husband cheated. Here's one of the clips.
Today marks 48 days since I found out, and 47 days since divorce was decided. I'm doing okay. 6 weeks ago, I couldn't see any light ahead of me. Time has gone by and there's been like little pricks of light up ahead. Like if you had aluminum foil and then you took toothpicks. Little tiny pricks of light coming through. Not enough to see what is on the other side, but enough to let you know that it's light over there. Even on the worst days, have gone to bed knowing that I am closer to that light. I'm going to look back on this and say I did not freeze. I moved forward. I am capable. I can do this. Main character energy.
She said that today marks 48 days since I found out and 47 days since the divorce was decided. That means that she filed the next day after finding out that her husband cheated. And she also mentioned in other videos that this was his first time cheating. Now, this is why I'm convinced that she was already thinking of divorcing her husband for years, and she was just waiting for a reason to do it. Because you cannot take such a big, life-changing decision like divorce within 24 hours unless you were already thinking and planning it in advance.
And this is going to be probably the video of her and her man. And okay, based on what the AI voice is saying and the storyline here of her man cheating, there's always two sides to the story. Look, we know that it takes two to tango. We know that you don't wake up happy with a smile on your face and you go, I'm just going to cheat on my wife today because it's sunny outside. It feels great. Something was clearly going on in that relationship. She has tendencies to need attention and validation from strangers. Her social media consumption is on full display here. We're seeing the fact that she's comfortable posting those kinds of cringy ass videos for some sort of adoration, feedback, acknowledgement from a community that, you know, doesn't really exist in her life, but attention nonetheless that she craves. I wonder, I'm defending men here, women on occasion when they deserve it as well, but we don't have the two sides to this story. I think his would be completely different. And what he might say is that sex dried up. We were no longer intimate, felt like I was living with a roommate. She wasn't seeing me. I wasn't getting any emotional connection from my wife. She started to get into arguments with me more and more. The love fell off. We couldn't stand each other. I had a moment of weakness and I messed with Becky at the office. That's typically how these things happen. And then when they do happen, the wife was already mentally checking out or checked out of the relationship. And she basically drove the man to cheat, knowing that he would eventually when she shut herself off in the marriage. And that was the perfect scapegoat event that she could use to essentially blame. He's the bad guy. He did this to me. He cheated on me. I don't know what happened. Our relationship was amazing. And then she could paint that story to everybody because remember, they engage in reputation destruction first. So they move 10 steps ahead of men in general. When a guy gets hit with divorce, she was already thinking of it a year ago and plotting the course of what she needed to do in order to come out unscathed on the other end, reputationally speaking. And that's typically how they operate. So when you hear about divorce stories, always be a bit of a skeptic. Both sides in general, but especially the women, because even lawyers and psychologists and therapists will tell you the woman's side of the story, you need to be extra careful in believing their side of the story because they engage in these kind of manipulation tactics and victimization. It is what it is. That's the gender. This is the world we live in. I'm just telling you how it is. It would make sense for her to get on TikTok, film herself as a victim, to get a bunch of love from strangers, a bunch of positive reinforcement, a bunch of attention and adoration as she's destroying her relationship that she wants out of and drove a wedge between her and her man to get him to cheat in order for her to escape without a scratch. Let's see.
Here's a video of her husband and her that she posted few weeks before announcing her divorce. You can clearly see that there was no real issue between her and her husband. Here's another recent video of her praising her husband for rescuing a stray dog. I personally don't even believe that her husband cheated because she filed a no-fault divorce. And when she said that she filed a no-fault divorce, the men in the comments section hold her accountable, and she tried to respond to one of the comments with this BS video. Check it out.
First of all, I want you to understand that a no-fault divorce does not mean that no fault was incurred. Oftentimes, women who've been abused or cheated on will go the no-fault route because they either don't have the financial ability due to financial abuse to go the full court route. It's a courtesy a lot of times if kids are involved because the no-fault divorce is a lot easier to process, especially if it's the father of your children. It's true that women do initiate more divorces, but why? Why? Why do you think that is? Could it possibly be because they got into a relationship with someone who didn't uphold their end of the bargain? Who wasn't a good partner? I'm not saying.
No, they got in a relationship with somebody who was the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth choice, the best choice at the time. That's what it was. Women settle for men they never wanted in the first place, but they need a bailout, a meal ticket to pay for all their mistakes and their consequences. That's what it is. That's what it is. If we want to get really down into the details of why a lot of relationships fail, because women choose guys they don't actually like, they're just convenient. Women shop for men the way we shop for jobs. That psychologist said it, and that's exactly what it is like. The way a man looks at a job and he's comparing the benefits and he's comparing the hours worked and the tasks expected and who your boss is and what you're bringing in and everything, how much you got to travel, how far it is from home. That's how they're comparing men. Who earns more? How tall is he? Who's got a six-pack? Who dresses better? Who's better in bed? Who treats me nicer? Who yells at me more? Who makes me feel the feels? Who's got toxic love? La, 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 la. And that's what it's like, bro. You're just getting older past 30. The wall hits you. The job prospects are getting lower. The pay is starting to trend down to minimum wage. You're no longer asking for top salary, CEO level package deals and golden parachutes. You don't get that anymore. You get minimum wage. Clock in, shorty, and it's time for you to go on lunch break, and it's time for you to clock back in and get to work. That's what you're staring down the barrel at past 30. You're picking the bottom drudges of what's left. And even when you get a somewhat good job offer, that job is a temp job. You're only going to get to do this for a little bit. You ain't here forever. That's the game. Women don't understand this analogy, and it's fine. Eventually, they will when they hit 30. But by then, it's too late, and you have two outcomes. You're either going to preach how you were misled and tell the younger sisters what they need to do and how to not get into your position, or you're going to double down on your position, crabs in a bucket mentality, tell all the women in the world how happy you are to be a strong, independent boss babe while you're crying on TikTok, while the mascara runs down your face, and the cat eats your body as you're decomposing when you're older and you pass away. Cool story, bro. Get yourself a self-aware woman that understands the tenets of the red pill, of men and women, sex dynamics between each other, relationships, marriage, all that stuff. Get a woman that understands that we are animals, we behave in a certain way, and acts accordingly to protect her relationship with you.
Saying that every no-fault divorce is that scenario. And I'm not saying there aren't women out there who fall out of love and decide that divorce is the best option, but props to them, honestly, because you know the amount of men who decide that they've fallen out of love and just forget to tell their partner they don't get divorced, they just cheat. This argument is not what you think it is. I suggest you do a little bit more research into why so many women are realizing, oh, we don't need men. I don't have to put up with abuse.
There you go. There's the feminist.
Anymore. I don't have to. I don't even need a man to have a baby anymore. Doesn't mean I don't want a man in my life. It doesn't mean that I think all men are bad. But what...
Do you see her mentality? And she was in a relationship with that guy. Do you see? Don't even need a man for a baby. Don't want a man for anything. What do I need a man for? All men do is cheat. So that's her framework. And imagine that, being in a relationship with that. And she's consuming that kind of content. This is where she's getting a bunch of her talking points from. It's written all over people, man.
You've done is you've taken your scenario and you've made some broad brush assumptions about all women that just
she just made
true.
Them for men.
And if you're going to think that and you're going to feel sorry for yourself and be the victim, don't come on.
What, dude? She just made the same assumptions about men that, men are cheating. What do we need men for? Men fall out of love all the time and just cheat on their spouses.
I'm going to play the victim on the page of a woman who's gotten cheated on and is in the middle of a divorce. Not your audience, dude. You're not going to find any sympathy here.
You can see it on this caption of the video recorded the day she decided to divorce her husband. It says, "Life had been hard for the last few years. I remember feeling like I couldn't tell what was real anymore."
There
you
go.
That she was already...
See, man, there you go. Look. Oh. God, I need to write a book on this shit. Seriously. Life has been so hard for the last few years. I remember feeling like I couldn't tell what was real anymore. You see, just told on herself. When I told you guys a year ahead, she's been a few years ahead of that guy. A few years of slowly planting the seeds and making the moves and leading to the destruction and the sabotage of her own relationship. Anyways, continue.
Sold. My home is not my home anymore. We've also reached our final settlement agreement for the divorce.
Okay.
All in one day.
And?
This is the part in the book where the main character finally sees those circles closing, closing the loops. But in all the books I've read, usually these moments are joyful. I don't feel any of that.
Bro, here's what I've noticed being overseas and traveling. Just got back from Greece, all this stuff. And women in the West, because of social media and the gynocentric policies and the culture that we have, has put them in this weird position or state of mind. Delusional doesn't begin to describe what they're seeing and feeling in terms of what's really happening. It's more akin to narcissism mixed with delusions of grandeur. So when you combine those two things, if there are psychologists or anybody knows of a term, when those two character traits are combined and it forms the identity of a person, that's essentially what Western women's personality traits have become. You can't take me to this franchise restaurant. Who do you think you are, not opening the door for me? I don't do 50-50. Pulls out the phone to record you and show the rest of the world, tried to shame you. The delusions of grandeur and narcissism. When you go overseas and you meet people that have come from more traditional families, have actually had grandparents in their lives. Over here in Eastern Europe, people still have grandparents that are alive in the countryside, which they partially grew up in, with chickens, with pigs, tilling the land, growing crops for winter, slaughtering a pig for a celebration, making moonshine at home. All these things that, an American can't wrap their minds around. Most of us, we live in the city. Maybe some of the guys in the, far out boonies in the more farm rural areas, they still do that. They still have those familial traditions. For the vast majority of Americans, that's a long foregone time in American history for most people. But in other parts of the world, that's still normal. In those parts of the world, people seem to be far more grounded into reality. Shaming is still strong. The opinion of the parents and the grandparents still matter. Family traditions matter. Relationships with family matter. And this is a bulwark, a sort of gatekeeping to mental disease, to making bad decisions, to completely throwing away good things in your life. These were the things that used to hold us all together, regardless if some bad times come, instead of throwing everything away. Because now your influence is people that do not give a shit about you. A singular grain of shit. You are pixels on a screen for their entertainment. You're either going to elicit an emotional response from them or not, and they click away. She is a clown parading herself to people on TikTok and Shorts or wherever the hell she's posting for entertainment. They don't care about you. They want to see your life unfold into chaos so they could feel better about themselves. That's what social media is essentially. So instead of having you being backed by family, having your behavior, your decisions, your reputation staked on the people that are in your bloodline that truly care for you and want you to do better. Instead, you've replaced them with strangers on the internet. And you wonder why your life spirals out of control so quickly and you become an online clown for people to throw digital peanuts at, likes, comments. That's what that is. You're the monkey in the cage performing for those peanuts. They don't see it, man. The internet is not your friend. The people on the internet are not your friend. The people under the comment sections for women telling you, yes, thick queen, yes, boss babe, are aiding in your own destruction. Social media was essentially at its core, you sharing life with friends. It has turned into you performing for everybody else. Crazy how that switch happened so quickly. And in these other communities or these other countries where people are more grounded and family oriented, the difference in behavior is astounding, guys. I'm telling you. You have to get a passport and leave. If you've ever been on a date in foreign countries, I'm telling you, ask the men in the comment section. The women will thank you for your time. The women will ask you even before the date, is that okay with you? What time is best for you? If you want, would you like to do this? If you don't mind, if you think it's okay, does this work for you? They ask you first to see if is 9 o'clock okay? Is this restaurant okay? Are you sure you would like to see me? If you would like to see me, and then they meet you and they go, thank you so much for seeing me. And then you meet these women, you go on these dates and they're interested and they're not on their phone. And they're engaged with you and they're asking you actual deep questions because they're looking for something more than getting pumped and dumped. Of course, you could always find your street sloozies in every capital of every country, but there's far more percentage-wise in the areas that I'm speaking about, with the cultures that I'm speaking about. And after the date, she thanks you. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for dinner. Thank you so much for coffee. I really appreciate you taking me out. I had a really great time. Thank you. Thank you. So appreciative. And then they do things that you never see happen in the West. They're mindful of you, think about you, and show it instead of playing games. Girls will actually come to your house and bring cooked meals. They may be in the area. I had one girl literally was shopping for fruits and it was in the area and decided to get me a bunch of my favorite fruits and drop it off my door. Literally just texted me and said, hey, was thinking about you. Just got some fresh fruits from the farmer's market. I left some at your door for you. That's it. Then when the relationship progresses and you invite her over or you go over to her place, she's either cooking for you, she's either cleaning up your place. You don't even have to ask. Dude, you get out of bed, you come back after going to the bathroom and your bed is made. And she starts putting things away and she starts arranging things and making them all neat and proper and does it without asking just because it's expected of her, just because she's had that experience, that family environment. The structure is there in her brain. She knows what it means to be a good woman. She's seen what happens when a woman is good. She's seen the relationship dynamics between her mother, her aunts, uncles, grandparents. Everybody behaves this way. Everybody's in a relationship and everybody's making it work. And she has a strong framework to base her personality on. Unlike people that come from the West when it's mostly broken homes, single parent homes exploding, all the crap that everybody's dealing with, hookup culture, everything. We're all replaceable, just bodies swiping on Tinder. Think about that difference, man. When's the last time you went on a date, met a woman, got to know her, and she does things for you without asking, and she thanks you for your time all the time. She appreciates your effort. She wants to cook for you. She cleans for you naturally. Hell, a lot of them are even frugal too. They'll tell you, no, I don't want to go here. I just want to spend time with you. No, I can cook instead. No, I don't want to spend money doing this. No, that costs too much money. That place is too expensive. Let's go somewhere else. Come on, man. The mentality is such a 180 that by the time you come back to the States, you're done. You're checked out completely. When I came back for the last time to the States to wrap everything up, and I opened up the dating apps and I just saw what just physically what they look like, I checked out. And then it was reading the profiles, just sealed the deal for me. I'm good. They're so far from what a good woman is supposed to be. They're so far from what a wife is supposed to be. I don't want to work on a project. that can blow up in my face at any moment because she takes her cues from the external world, from social media. No, thank you. And I know it's hard for a lot of dudes. They're grinding day to day. They're working on their dead end jobs. They're trying to learn new skills. They're trying to escape the rat race, and you're surrounded by a pool of shit and all you see is garbage around you. And it begins to cloud your judgment where you think everything is garbage everywhere in the world. That's not true. Don't get caught up in that. There is light at the end of the tunnel. You just have to leave the shithole into greener pastures. It's there. It exists. There's plenty of men in the comment sections that'll tell you. Do the due diligence, the self-work, the self-improvement. Align yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, and you will escape the shithole and be astounded by the change in your quality of life. You're essentially playing the game on hard mode, and there's cheat codes that are going against you, penalizing you for simply existing and being a man. That's what the West is today. But it's not like that everywhere. I know some guys are getting dragged down into that nihilistic view of the world. Don't. There's a beautiful, feminine, fit, friendly foreign woman waiting for you as long as you do what you got to do as a man. That shit, I guarantee it.
6 months ago today, I had no idea my world was about to change. I wish
Yes,
I could
you did.
say that all okay now. All I can do is hope that another 6 months feels good, and I'll be able to look back. I know that the last 6 months
Where are the tears? We're just
were
performing.
really hard, but were really necessary. And that I did the right thing. I did all the right things.
Shut the fuck.
Today does not feel like a main character energy day. I'm just being honest because I don't even know why.
By the way, that text says, I'm not a kid mom anymore. I'm just a dog mom. What a freaking L.
I'm just tired. Don't know what to do next. I mean, I have options. I'm safe. I'm fine. This isn't a pity thing. I promise.
Should have worked it out.
To be rescued.
Not sad. Should have worked it out.
It's close and they're here. I thought I'd know more. As I turned 34.
Game over. My now ex-wife said I cheated on her, and that was the reason she was filing for divorce. Nope, never happened. That was her excuse to file for divorce. And lo and behold, a year later, I found out she was the one cheating, and the dude she was banging dumped her right after our divorce was finalized. LOL. For years, I was mad at the guy for messing around with my wife, but now wherever he is, I'm so grateful it happened and hold no ill will. I had no idea the woman I choose to marry was absolute trash. She just gained a new superpower that she didn't know existed. Invisibility. She lost the house and didn't get nothing from divorce and didn't want to file an at-fault divorce? Sounds like she cheated, right? What woman finds out abruptly her man cheats and doesn't take him to the cleaners? Doesn't that sound a little weird to you? That she would absolutely wreck that dude in court for ruining her marriage and cheating on her? Come on, man. Main character syndrome is a term made popular on TikTok to describe a tendency among people to view themselves as the lead character in their own life story. People with main character syndrome tend to be self-centered and self-absorbed, making it difficult to work collaboratively with others. This is the reason she got a divorce. Abuse is a modern woman's new catchword for escaping responsibilities. And then I like it. We'll end it with this one. Socrates. They knew back in the days, man. Trust not a woman when she weeps, for it is her nature to weep when she wants her will. Ah, gorgeous. See you guys on the next one.